if I could add just a little pinch of nuance to conversational hypnosis and some things I've observed that might complement some of the things you've observed. By the way, I have my magnetic device up and running now, and I'm giving myself a nice hypnotic bath of Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz frequencies. Put this over here. Feels nice. Feels nice. I feel very grounded with that thing on. Yeah, most conversation is hypnosis. I'm sure you've noticed that. One of the really, really nice, useful things, good learnings that come in NLP, and this sort of development of sensory acuity, very deep level acuities, you might say almost profound empathetic readings of other states, is observing how people do travel through trances naturally. Just as they're talking, they will be in one frame, in one story, which is attached to a whole lot of internal material, and then they'll transition to something else, and there'll be a whole lot of other material, and then sometimes they'll go back to where they were, they'll pick up some of that, then move forward and jump ahead of that. So there's a lot of internal dancing that's going on, internal states, which are basically self-induction. And many of these hypnotic states, in my belief, refer back to very, very early formative experiences in one's psychic life, as one transitioned through early childhood, prepubescence, puberty, adolescence, early adulthood, the challenges of work in later life, etc. And all of those contain implicit, intrinsic trances. And people are constantly building their daily states out of little bits and pieces of all these trance elements that form sort of like beads on a string, trance beads, and ending up with this strand, basically, of consciousness that's composed of little trance bits. So as a good conversational hypnotist, one approach I've seen a lot is the attempt simply to the idea that you will do hypnosis. In my belief, my frame of reference is a very powerful and useful attitude and approach is one of entering into a very, very deep, relaxed state of observation and simply allow your mirror neurons to start empathetically connecting with the trance states that the other person's going through. And instead of doing all this work and all this internal efforting, let go of the effort, drop the effort of trying to do hypnosis, and let them hypnotize you with their trances. So follow, to simply track along while maintaining a good alert witness position on this thing, so you know what's going on, but just simply drop in with them. So let their trance inform you of where they are and where they're going, and then at certain points there'll be certain opportunities where they may unconsciously grant you permission to suggest another alternative to whatever destination. Kind of like you're driving along and you're having a nice long drive and you're in one of those driving trances and you say, hey, why don't we there's an interesting restaurant over here, why don't you just pull off on this? I know you've never taken this exit before, but this is kind of a neat little surprise I think is waiting for you. Sometimes people are open to taking little side trips into other places, and sometimes they're not. And so you do have to be very, very, very conscious, and conscious in that mirror neuron way of constantly in feeling with. I think their first term for empathy was something like Einfühlung, to feel with. So you can sense, you sense the moment at which, or you sense the time when that person actually would like to have some other destination suggested, and other times when they are very, very directively wanting to aim for a particular outcome. So that would just be my small additive to this whole conversational trance thing, is feeling where that person wants to go, feeling when they're granting kind of in a subtle, unconscious way, granting permission or even showing interest in perhaps being taken someplace else. And other times, they're going to be very convergent and beamed in and just hell-bent on getting to point B. And so at that time, working with that is a very different kind of energy. So that's probably enough of my 2 cents for now, but that seems to be a good way to look at it.